Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It is so lovely to have you here. It's the start of the weekend, so a very warm welcome to all of you guys. Now I'm going to be doing a video just to tell you what I'm doing with the Birds and the Bees journal. So I've got the two signatures here and we're going to do a project for the last signature today, and then it's just a case of filling in the little bits and pieces that I usually do. I might have one or two repeats from something I've already shown you for this signature, and I'll share all that with you with a flip through like I always do. Alright, so this is the first signature. We've got a load in there already. There's not much space for much else. Maybe one of the things I'm going to do today. And then we've got this signature, which has also got quite a lot in it. And we've still got these goodies. I want to put one in here and one in the other one we made before from junk mail, so we've got that. I've got two projects that I'm making and I'm going to put two of them in here and one in the other. So we got, and a couple of bits and pieces. There's one or two things I want to add, and I've got to add in my book pages as well because I haven't put those in yet. All right, so without any more talking, gosh, it is cold. I've got my longest sleeves on today, but my hands are freezing. Right, so I'm going to put in a couple of goodies in there as well, so we're coming to the end of that. And like always, I would never just leave a project unfinished. I will make sure that you see the final thing, and I will highlight anything that I've added as well. All right, today I want to focus on book pages and a couple of pockets. I've also got one that's, if you don't have book pages, an alternative, so I want to get on and share that with you today, so I hope you're excited about that. Now, where did I put all the book pages? Oh, here they are. Right, so I've got book pages here. They might just be plain book pages, maybe just from a novel that's damaged or you're no longer using. I like to use book pages that are, you know, double-sided. So I've taken them out like that. But even if on some occasions you can join them, so if you only have those, you might have some of the Edith Holden book pages. I know this one is one that I didn't really want to use that particular image, and the rest of it's pretty plain, which is great. So I like those kind of book pages. So maybe something like that. Any book pages, it doesn't matter. All right, so grab yourself some of those. I have pulled together one of them right here, and I'm going to share with you straight away what we are going to do with that. So I'm trying to make it flat again. Right, so I've taken one of these. Now this particular image is not something that I'm going to use. It is a double page like this. This one is, what is this? This is 10 inches by, I think, 7. Yeah, all right, but it doesn't matter what size it is. And I'll show you, you could just take an actual journal page, and I'll share with you what I've done with that as well. Now, the first thing I want to do is, I really want to get this divided into 3. Now, I didn't measure it, I really eyeballed it, and this is how I go about doing that. All right, so the first thing that you want to do is, you want to find the first fold. So let's hope that I can do that. So I've just decided, right, this fold is going to be, it's about 3 inches, all right? And then what I do is I just turn it over. See, there's no measuring involved here. And then I take the back page and I measure it up to the fold line on the page I've already folded. And then I just do that. Okay, what's important here is that this bit and this bit are pretty similar. All right, the middle bit is a bit wider, but that's okay. All right, so that's what I've done here. Right, now, as I said, I didn't really want to have that bit there, so I think I'm going to just turn it the other way. I'm going to have that bit there. I'm going to turn that bit like this, and that's a bit wide, so I'm going to move it over a bit. Yeah, I think that's what I did. Yes, okay, so these two are the same, I think. Let's just double check that. Yeah, so we want that one there and that one there. There we go. Right, now that I've confused you all. All right, and then all I wanted to do was I wanted to measure the length on one of my actual journal pages. So I'm just going to grab one of these here. It doesn't matter, I'm just looking at the length. Now this is quite long. I think I might want to take a little bit off the length here because I'm going to put a tag in the top. So I think I'm going to just trim it down to about this length. All right, so that'll be different based on whether you have an A4 or a US letter. And then I'm going to just trim that off. So let's just take, you can take your scissors, you can take whatever you have, guys. I'm just using my craft knife here. Okay, wrong way. Okay, just made it a bit shorter. Now I am going to start sticking some of these down. So I'm just using my art glitter glue here, and I want to just put some glue onto the bottom edge there, just so that I can stick this down at the bottom. And then I'm going to do the same over here. So just at the bottom of this flap. Right, there we go. Now this isn't something I've made up. This is long ago. I don't know who did this, but I've done it many times myself. All right, so now what I want to do is, let's first do this. I'm going to just take about a ½ an inch from the edge there, yeah, and I'm just folding that piece of paper back. And before I stick it down, I'm going to do the same here and fold that piece back as well. All right, you can make this a bit longer, I think, just to line up these more or less like that. Okay, then just take your bone folder and flatten those. So you've got these sort of flapping back there. Okay, now I'm going to just take some glue, and it doesn't matter here because I'm going to cover this section like that, and I'm going to stick this down as well, or I'll wait for that. I'm going to stick something. Yeah, I don't need to, do I? Right, so we'll stick that down there and a little bit down there. All right, so you've got a little pocket in there now, and we're going to put some little bits on here. Now, when you come to an end of a journal, I think that you'll find that you have a lot of scrappy pieces, and we like to use those up. I like to find ways to use those up. I find it a challenge to find the ways, and it might be that I add them to the ends of book pages to decorate them with the sort of edge bits or little clustery bits, some layering pockets, adding it to ephemera, making tags is another great one, or journal cards. You can make a collage board and cut it into all sorts of bits, so use up those scrappy bits. Right, so over here I'm going to grab some goodies now. So I was just going through my scraps, and I was going to just stick this bit here. I was going to stick this underneath there, but because I've glued it down, I'm not. So there we go. I've got a nice scrap to add to the tag. I'm not going to do too much other than you can ink it, but I'm not really worried about that. I want to just stick this so it's just fitting underneath there like that. All right, so on this occasion it's just one scrappy bit that I'm using, and this one came from a collage page from my kit. And you can hear Abby has now just arrived. She's decided it's playtime because I want to sit down and record. And we have had a few playing sessions already today. But Abby, it's not your turn. Oh my gosh, she likes to make herself known, doesn't she? It's like she knows. All right, so you can, again, as I say, distress the edges if you want, if you like. I go for a sort of a light distressing, but everybody's different. You can put some, what was I going to say now? We can even add some stenciling on there. So I'm going to do some very soft little stencil bits over here. Let's try and angle that. and you know, not going to do too much. Now I think I love the layers that you can create on book pages. See, it's just very soft but pretty. I like it. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit on this side as well, and you can do this in any color, of course, and you can always look how dark it is by just lifting that up. All right, so there we go, lots of ideas for you. So we've got that there. We've got, I just want to stick this little bit down. It's going to annoy me. Okay, then what I thought was, using those scrappy bits again, I want to make some kind of a pocket. So I have just made a little pocket from a scrappy bit that I had. All right, so let me show you with a scrap that I have here. Right, so here's a scrap. Just take your scrappy bit. I'm doing it to the height of my pocket, and this is perfect really. Then I just take my pencil, draw around the base area like that, yeah, and then I'm going to just add 1/2 inch. Sorry for the glare, I'll just angle that there. Cut that right off, and then we can just take our scissors and just cut that straight off. Right, I don't need that. So this is the area that's going to be the size of the pocket, and then all you want to do is miter the corners and up there as well. How quick is that? All right, so that's all you need to do. And then it's just a case of scoring those lines. All right, I'll keep that one, can use it. So I've scored the lines there, and then you've got a little pocket with your little edges like that. All right, now we're going to just stick that down on there like this with our glue. And the thing about book pages, or crafting with book pages, is you can take something as boring as a book page and make it into anything beautiful within minutes. And the possibilities are endless. So, you know, make use of those book pages. So we've got a little pocket at the bottom there. We've got a pocket at the top there. Got a bit of lace here. I'm going to just stick that down. So we'll grab some fabric tack here. I'm just going to put this on the bottom. Just make it a bit not so thick. Right, there we go. And then we can just stick that just across the bottom here. Right, and then I can cut off the edges quickly. I like a nice clean finish, but everybody's different. This was just a scrap bit that I had over, so it was perfect. All right, so there we go. We've got that nicely arranged, and then I'm going to put on a little sentiment. So I've grabbed one here. If you have no honey in your pot, have some in your mouth. Benjamin Franklin, gotta love that. Right, so I'm going to put that on the middle there, and I've just grabbed a couple of bits from my little leftover sentiments and fussy cuts and things that I have. So I've got one of these. I only had one, and I didn't want to cut any more because I'm using the stuff up now. So that's what I suggest you do. I've got a fussy cut leaf there, so I'm going to put that side, and I'm going to put one of these there and one of those there. All right, so let me do that quickly. Okay, so you can see I've just stuck down the 2 green bits and the flowers either side. I just gauged this as I was placing them, and I'm going to just now stick this over the top there. All right, so it's just decorating up that pocket. Now it doesn't matter that this is over the edge a little bit. I will stick that down when I put it onto the page. All right, so there we go. I've got that there, I've got that there, and then I'll just grab these bits here that again I've had left over. I'm going to stick this onto this flap at the top here, just to add some excitement onto this side of things. All right, so we'll get that just coming out over there like that. I like that. And then again, one of these sweet peas, which I cut from a fussy cut from one of my background pages. and I've thoroughly enjoyed using these. And I love, yeah, the elements. I just love using the elements in what I'm making. So I'm just getting the right spot for this, really. So yeah, it doesn't matter if it goes over a little bit, that's fine. All right, and then we've got to have, because it's bird and bees, we've got to have a bee somewhere, so we can have him, let's put him at the bottom. Okay, so there's our first little one done. Oops, turn him around. Okay, right, so there's our first little pocket. We can put that to the side. Right, now I wanted to show you the same thing now, but with a piece of paper. So I have this piece of paper, it's an A4, you can use a US letter size. It's printed like this on the one side and like that on the other, and I've done exactly the same thing. So I've made these two similar in size and that one in the middle, and I've just gauged it. So you're looking at, well, just 3 1/4 inches, but guys, just remember it's a gauge. It's going to be slightly different if you've got a US letter because your page is slightly shorter. All right, so try around that size. Then this one is 3 1/2, so it's just a guesstimate. All right, so I'm going to fold that one in there. I'm going to fold that one in there like that, and we are going to, I'm just thinking now which I want where. I'm going to stick it like that. All right, and I'll show you why. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing here again. So I'll just put this on fast. We want that down. We want that down. Okay, and then I want to just, first of all, I want to cut this off. Now again, move that over a bit. We want to be mindful that this is the same length, height as your page. So you want it a bit shorter. So I'm going to take off 1 1/2 inches from the top here. All right. So that's what I'm going to do with that. So let's just turn that over and line it up on my board. And yeah, 1 1/4 inches from the top I'm going to take off. Now, and American letter size is wider, so you might want to do the same because it's relative to the page that you're going to stick it onto. Okay, now that makes a nice scrap to use for something else, and that's great for tags. All right, so we've got that a little bit shorter. Again, you want to fold this back, so let's do that first. Now, if you don't have double-sided printing, you can stick a scrap here, all right, of a printed fabric, listen to me, paper. You don't have to have it double-sided. You can do it with both sides and stick a piece in the middle and it will look just as good. All right, so we've got that there, we've got that there. This one's slightly longer, so I'm going to bring it down a bit, slight bit. Okay, there we go. Now all I do when I've got a line that I didn't really want to have, it doesn't matter, I just take my bone folder and run it over there and it mostly disappears. All right, we could make this one a slightly higher. There we go, that's a bit better. Okay. All right, and again, I'm going to just stick this down. So get some glue under there and under that strip there. And then the same here. Okay. There we go. Now, we don't need to cover this one because it's already got a printed design, so that's all right. So it makes it quicker when you've got these pages over and you want to make pockets. So there, we've got that there now. Now I'm going to put a different kind of a pocket on here. So I've taken one of these from my kit that's left over, and this is easy, a nice triangular pocket. You can also do the same thing, put this on your paper, measure how high and the base, and do the same thing as I showed you earlier. And I have scored the lines and I'm going to stick it on here like that. All right, now with these edges, I'm going to put them underneath here. All right, so I've just put the folded bits onto the back of the pocket just to give it a nice finish. Here we go. So now it's beautifully aligned. How's that? All right, so again, we're going to put some little bits on here. So I've got a couple of die cuts, fussy cuts. It's all the bits that I have lying in my little tray, and a sentiment. And I'm going to just layer them up here. So I'm going to get that there. I'm going to get that there. We're going to just, I wanted that like that. I wanted a bit of this blue because I quite fancy a bit of that there. So I'm going to get those stuck on. And then this little one over here. All right. So maybe we want to stick this one down first. How's everybody going for the Christmas period? Are you getting into the festive mode if you celebrate Christmas? Or any other lovely celebration around this time of year? I know there are quite a few. And is everybody feeling the pinch, or are you getting excited for the occasion? I haven't had felt festive for the last couple of years, as I've told you before, but I am feeling a little bit more festive this year. You know, feeling quite traditional and looking at ways of having fun with a good meal and my family and, you know, that sort of thing. Obviously there's presents, but I could leave the presents. I just like the kids and having a good meal and the dog and having a laugh and playing a few games and that kind of thing. Yeah, so, but I think, isn't there Thanksgiving coming up for those of you in the Americas? That's you've still got Thanksgiving. So, gosh, I'm sure that must be happening as well. And I don't think, if I recall, I don't think Thanksgiving's the same time for Canada and America, but I'm sure you ladies will enlighten me. Before I stick this all the way down, I think I wanted to get this one just at the back there. So Abby's right by the front door, so anybody that comes anywhere near just walking outside on the pavement, she is telling me there's someone. Bless her. Well, that's it. I wanted to just get a little bit of that there, and then I can stick this little bit on as well. Okay, so we've laid up a nice pocket there, and that looks great. And then we've got our little bee again, and we'll put the bee over here. Okay, so I've just gone and grabbed some lace bits, and I thought I'd angle those and stick those down just to give it a little bit more excitement. So I'm going to just take my messy glue here, and I should have got the Sugar Bell bottle out, but I need to refill it up, so I'm going to just go with this. Alright, so I've just angled it just to stick it down there, and then I can get that stuck down nicely like that. And then the same there, I've just angled that straight. This is going to tuck underneath, so it doesn't really matter. So I will get the glue down there. Right, and then I thought, here's my little bird. So I'm just grabbing some of these little bits that I fussy cut out from this background sheet, as I said. So yeah, it's been great to use these elements on various bits of my decorating here. So I've quite enjoyed that. So I'm going for some that are quite plain, you know, so that the doesn't detract from the bird. I don't want too many focus points going on here. Right, so we've got that little bit. I don't know what this little flower's called. This little one here looks like a bit of heather or something. I'm not quite sure. I've just made that up. Right, and then we've got our little birdie here, and we can just put him there. Perfect. So we've got our little bird there, we've got our bee there, and there's that one done. Okay, so we've got those two. I've got one other, but it's different. All right, so there's those. I'll put some ephemera in it at the end. Okay, then I have got something a bit different, and really is a scrappy use of scraps. Scrappy use of scraps, that sounds crazy. And as you can see, I've taken a book page, so effectively a book page like that, and I have trimmed off a little bit here just because I needed to fit on the page, so that's the reason. So I cut off up to the margin. So just remember to measure on your page length and width so that you aren't sort of stuck. And then what I did was I measured the length that I wanted, and I've glued this together here at the base. So I've just taken my glue stick, I've run it across the base here like that, when I was mocking this up earlier, and stuck it there. Then at that point I've then cut that off, and then I have folded up the rest to make like a little pocket so that it was the right height. All right, so I've got that bit there. This one measures 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5 inches high, and 4 3/4 inches that way, more or less. All right, and we'll make that into a little pocket. We are going to stick this down a bit, so we want to just fold it. We're going to fold that back, so I think I'm going for that sort of angle. So after 1.5 inches, I've folded that over there like that. Okay, you can, now we'll get to sticking that. Right, so let's stick this bit down here. So I'm just going to do that there, and then just so that it makes a pocket, like that. I've got my scraps now, and I've pulled out some that I can use. So I want to get this stuck down. So I found a narrow one, and I'm going to stick this at the top here. All right, so go and grab out that pile of scraps that you've been using and put them on your table, and find ones that are going to fit the various spaces that you have. I had that edge bit, so I've just got that there like that. I'm going to stick that somewhere. I'm just seeing what closes where. And then I've got this bit which I can put over here underneath, I think. Right, so let's get this one down next, and we want it just to cover that base there. Right, so I'm going to get that stuck down as well. Yeah, so this is a great opportunity to work away all that stuff, and I mean really you can work such a lot away when you put your mind to it. And I find that I'm come up with creative ideas when I throw them all on a big pile on the table, and I think, right, what can I do with this now? So challenge yourself, give it a go. You can do this. And you could be sitting here making wonderful things from scraps for a couple of journals, not just the one you're working on. Right, so we'll get this. I'm just seeing where we are here. We'll get it straight there or thereabouts. Okay, so I'm just putting 3 bits on because that's going to fold down and that's going to fold up. Right, we can go back to sticking this down now. You can stitch around this if you wanted to. You know, you can. I have done that before. But that's up to you guys. Right, so we've got that there. That's glued, and I'm going to just put a little triangle of glue there now because we finished with that. So again, we've got a nice pocket there. We've got a little pocket here. So I've got a little bit cut out just so that I can put it over there. So that's going to look great. And pick up the greens. I love this green color. So fresh and uplifting, and I need fresh and uplifting because it's so dark and it's only like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah, so we need a bit of brightness, a bit of light and bright. Then I've taken another scrappy bit. It's just a thin strip, and these thin strips are great for doing what I'm going to do now. So if you're running out of ribbon, or you're trying to conserve your ribbon or lace, this is another way to add some a splash of color just to what you're working on. And there we go, I'm just putting it through the middle there, and it picks up some of the yellow bits as well. And then again, I've got a little sentiment: in every walk with nature one receives far more than he seeks. Absolutely. And I think I miss that in winter, you know, where it's so dark and the daylight hours are so minimum that I tend to forget about going for a walk, or I don't make the time to go for a walk. That's what it is. I'm going to put a little butterfly on here, as I said, working these all away. There we go. So that bit's done. And then I've got some bits for the top here. So I've just grabbed again some of these fussy cuts and the die cuts. So this is the one I'm thinking, what is that? Is that heather? I don't know. Right, so let's get this stuck down. We want to put that the back there. Okay, so I've stuck these down now, and I've just stenciled a little bit there and just in the corner there now, and that's ready to go. And I mean, who would have said that that was an actual book page? Right, so we've got that one, love those, and then the two that we've just made here now. And now I just wanted to put in some ephemera pieces into this. So I've got a couple of goodies here and here. So with the big tags, I've got this one. Again, I've made this with scraps and stuck some die cuts down and stitched around it. So there you go. And I've used that collage page that I had a piece of. So I thought I'd put that into this one over here. All right, and then I've got this one. I've just added a die cut and a quote onto that large tag, and that will go into that one over there. And then I took the rest of that collage sheet that was a piece. I've made it into a journal card, put some backing on, and you know, just put a little eyelet and a quote there. So I thought I'd put that into that one. And then I had some other little bits for the little pockets in the front, so I thought, right, that one could go into there, I think. And then we could put this in here. No, let's put that in there. There we go. These in here. All right, and then I've got these two little ones, so I thought I'd put this one into there. Yeah, messing it around now. And then I've got this little one that can go into there. Right, so yeah, I've got other cards that I can put in as well. So as I go along, I'll add some more. And I've got another tag, but I was going to put that into there. Or we can leave it in there. So we've got a smaller tag in there, and these bigger ones into there. Right, so yeah, we've got 3 little pockets to go into our journals. So there we go. That wasn't too bad, was it? And we're using up loads of scraps and book pages and our remaining ephemera and die cuts and all sorts of pieces. So go and give this a go, everybody. You're going to enjoy it. I love coming to the end and challenging myself with what remains. I find it quite fun, and it breaks up the monotony of using everything from the same kit as well. So go and give it a go and see what you come up with. I'd love to see what you make too. Now, have a wonderful weekend. I'm going to see you on Sunday. We'll be doing a new little project. As soon as I'm finished with the Birds and Bees journal, I will put a video out with the flip through so that I can talk you through all the other little bits and pieces that we have added to it. All right, so go and have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you on Sunday. Bye-bye.